Chapter 123, Superior of the Earth Realm. This chapter is updated by Novels.pl. Zhang Yuochen released the space domain which covered a surrounding area of 60 square meters. His eyes were cold. He said, "Prince Huoxing, now that you wanted to kill me again and again, I won't show you mercy anymore. Tonight, one shall stand, one shall fall. How dare you talk big while death is drawing near? Release the arrow." Prince Huoxing said in a cold voice. The word of command was issued. Bang, bang. A series of sounds of arrows being released from bows were heard. 100 sergeants released the first round of thunder arrows. Swarms of arrows flew toward Zhang Yuochen with the whistle of breaking the wind, looking like raindrops. The first round of thunder arrows had not yet arrived, while the second round of arrows had already been released, and in no time, the third round followed. Under such a well-regulated attack, even an Earthrealm warrior might have been killed. Swish. Having already reached the dawn state of the Black Realm, Zhang Yuochen was more skilled at mastering the space domain. Reaching out his hands, he drew a circle in the void space. The space around him was distorted at an angle of 180 degrees. Thunder arrows that flew toward him all directly turned a corner and then flew back. When they were several meters away from him, PFFF, PFFF, the thunder arrows shot towards the fierce tiger army. Sergeants suffered a crushing defeat, as both people and horses were thrown on the ground, and screams were heard from the sergeants. On seeing this, Prince Huoxing was stunned. He stuttered. Did he successfully practice the legendary martial technique, the passage of stars and God? How could it be possible? Don't shoot him with arrows. Attack him directly. I'll give the one who kills Zhang Yuochen half a city. Kill them. Wearing armor, the sergeants who rode on the savage beasts instantly rushed forward as if they would dismember Zhang Yuochen with several knives. Blackie pushed his cat paws toward the ground and Genuine Shi swarmed out from them. An inscription was activated. A blaze rushed out from the ground with thunder and turned to an over 10-meter huge firebird. The huge firebird rushed toward the army like a rosefinch and immediately ignited the bodies of more than a dozen sergeants into flying ash, leaving more than a dozen empty armors on the ground. The firebird left hot temperature which burned the soil and made a chitchy sound. Another huge fire rosefinch also rushed into the army from the other direction, not only igniting the sergeants one by one, but also the whole forest. The array was totally opened. 100 fire rosefinches rushed out from the ground one by one. They rushed toward all directions, bringing great injuries and many deaths to the fierce tiger army of Prince Huoxing. The whole mountain ridge became a burning sea of fire. Your Highness, they've set up a powerful fire tactical formation and we've fallen into a trap. To set up such a terrifying tactical formation, they needed at least a third-class master, who is skilled at making array. Prince Huoxing's face turned deathly pale. He thought using 2,000 fierce tiger soldiers to attack Zhang Yuochen had no risk at all. But unexpectedly, Zhang Yuochen was a master of array, which brought great losses to the fierce tiger army. Within a quarter of an hour, at least 500 soldiers died, and large quantities of sergeants were greatly injured. Prince Huoxing would not have dreamed it possible that the person who set up the tactical formation was a cat, rather than Zhang Yuochen. Kill them. Slay them all. Ha ha, whoever opposes me can only have a dead end. Blackie sat on the double-headed blood lion. It went on the rampage and trod on the soldiers, until they became a mixture of blood and mud. Zhang Yuochen leapt into the air and stood on the back of the blood lion. He said, "Let's go. We should lead them to Devilwind Valley." What? Today, my murderous feeling is so strong, how can I retreat now? Blackie said. Zhang Yuochen looked very serious and he said, "I can feel that a superior of the Earth Realm is coming. If we don't go now, then we can't leave anymore." Zhang Yuochen also wanted to get rid of Prince Huoxing, a future trouble. But he could not win against a man of the Earth Realm with his capability now. On hearing the words the Earth Realm, Blackie was also shocked. "Xiao Shuang, run away now," he said. The double-headed blood lion carried Zhang Yuochen and Blackie away, wiping out more than a dozen soldiers, and then flew toward Magic Wind Ridge as fast as it could. After they had just left for a while, the ground fiercely shook, which looked like the earth was trembling and the mountains were swaying. Boom! An over 8-meter tall single-horned golden leopard dashed from the bottom of the ridge, cracking trees one by one and bringing great destructive power. The single-horned golden leopard is a third-class savage beast, the combat power of which can compare with a warrior of the Earth realm. Sitting on the single-horned golden leopard, a 2.3-meter tall man in his 40s wore thick black armor weighing 250 kilograms. His arms were the size of buckets, holding an 8-meter halberd in his hands. All these made him look like the advent of Mars. He glanced at the horrible scene of the ridge, coldly roared and said, "You're the 3rd and 4th elite battalions of the fierce Tiger Army. Even when you attacked the Shunjing city of Yunwu Commandery, you guys didn't suffer such a heavy loss. Now, you've lost the face of the whole fierce Tiger Army." Prince Huoxing came out from the soldiers and said, "General Hong Yi, you can't blame the soldiers, but me. I didn't expect that Zhang Yuochen is a master of tactical formations, thus I was unprepared when I attacked him." Master of tactical formations? How could it be possible at his age? General Hong Yi's face turned a little softer when he saw Prince Huo crossing. General Hong Yi clearly knew the effect that a master, who was skilled at tactical formations, had on the battlefield. Sometimes, they could even turn the tables. Prince Huoxing's face clouded. He said, "General Hong Yi, you don't know Zhang Yuochen. Young as he is, his spiritual power is extremely high. Now it's already 29 classes. With his spiritual power, he totally has the ability to become a third-class master of tactical formations. His existence absolutely is a huge threat to Square Commandery." General Hong Yi was also stunned. It was amazing for a boy in his teens to own the spiritual power of 29 classes. His face turned serious and he said, "Is he dead?" Prince Huoxing's face became a bit darker. "He's escaped," he said. General Hong Yi looked at the traces on the ground and stared in the direction that Zhang Yuochen and Blackie had left. "He can't escape," he said. Rumble, rumble. General Hong Yi rode on the single-horned golden leopard. He dashed towards the direction of Magic Wind Ridge. It would be a great credit for him to kill Zhang Yuochen, therefore, how could he let this opportunity go? Prince Huoxing gathered the soldiers that were not injured. There were about 1,000 people. All of them also ran after Zhang Yuochen along the same direction as General Hong Yi. The double-headed bloodlion moved very fast. But how could it compare with a third-class savage beast, the single-horned golden leopard? General Hong Yi caught up to Zhang Yuochen and Blackie very quickly. "Damn it, they're catching up now," Blackie anxiously said. Zhang Yuochen looked ahead, finding that they had already arrived at the bottom of Magic Valley of the Wind, and it would only take a moment to rush into the valley. But the one who chased after them was a general of the Earth realm. Would he give them a moment? Fight. Zhang Yuochen took a war bow out from the time and space spinel. Then he put 3 purple thunder arrows on the string at the same time and shot them out. Boom. 3 thunder arrows flew towards the head, heart, and the single-horned golden leopard of General Hong Yi respectively. All of them were very accurate. General Hong Yi wore a smile of contempt. He even did not elude them. 2 thunder arrows that flew to his head and heart hit against the thick armor, giving out 2 loud bangs caused by the crash of metal, and then flew out. The thunder arrow that flew toward the single-horned golden leopard was bitten by it and then swallowed into its belly. Seeing this, Zhang Yuochen's facial expression changed a little. He used his whole strength to shoot those 3 arrows. A normal warrior of the completion of the Black Realm could not resist them, but before a warrior of the Earth Realm, they were so weak and vulnerable. "Little boy, your shooting is very good, but it's a pity that you don't have enough power." General Hong Yi gave a loud laugh. Seeing that the double-headed bloodlion was going to rush into the valley, General Hong Yi had pursued at 60 meters away, 50 meters, 40 meters, 30 meters. When there were just 20 meters between them, General Hong Yi flew from the back of the single-horned golden leopard. He held a halberd of 8 meters in his hands, piercing toward Zhang Yuochen's back with great power. This is it. Before the halberd of General Hong Yi fell on his body, Zhang Yuochen already felt pain throughout his whole body. The sharp strength tore his clothes into ash. Zhang Yuochen still kept calm. He stretched out his hands and pulled forward. Looking at the action of Zhang Yuochen, General Hong Yi, who pierced him with his halberd, wore a smile of contempt. He thought Zhang Yuochen was too innocent to resist his halberd with his hands. While what happened next made him change his face. The halberd aimed to pierce Zhang Yuochen slowly turned its direction and flew out from his left side. Avoiding the halberd saved Zhang Yuochen some time. The double-headed blood lion carried Zhang Yuochen and Blackie to Magic Valley of the Wind at a fast speed. How could this be? What martial technique has he practiced? Staring at Zhang Yuochen's back, General Hong Yi clenched his teeth, feeling very incredulous. He must die. Just confounded for a moment, General Hong Yi's eyes became very determined again. He mounted the single-horned golden leopard, chasing after them into the valley. Little boy, now that you've escaped into the valley, there's only one way for you to choose. Death. General Hong Yi stood on the single-horned golden leopard and looked at Zhang Yuochen, who had already stopped. Suddenly, his facial expression became serious. Staring at two beautiful young girls not far away, he said, "Who are you?" Juan Muxingling's charming face gave an enchanting smile and her breasts gently vibrated. She bared her snow-white teeth in a grin and said, "How dare you ask me who we are? It's me that should know who you are. You really have the nerve to hunt a disciple of the school of the martial market." Juan Muxingling was really beautiful, enchanting, and moving. Even General Hong Yi was struck for a while when he saw her. He never expected to meet such a stunning beauty in the wilderness. Listen to her tone. She must be a disciple of the school of the martial market too. Who cares about whether she is a disciple of the school of the martial market? In the Omen Ridge, even if I raped her, how could the school of the martial market know about it? At most, I would sell her in the black market after I raped her. Once she was sold in the black market, she would become a whore or a slave of the market. No matter how noble she is, she would never be able to escape from the market. If I could sleep with her, even if my life was shortened by 10 years, it would be a good thing too. Then, General Hong Yi stared at Huang Yanchen. A stunned look showed in his eyes again. He was wild with joy, thinking, God treats me so well that I could meet two fairy beauties just by hunting Zhang Yuochen. He could enjoy them first and then sell them on the black market. There was no doubt that he could make a lot of money. General Hong Yi could see that Huang Yanchen and Yuan Muxingling were at the cultivation of the Black Realm. They could not beat him. But he did not know that they were warriors of division profound. He would not have been so optimistic had he known that. Seeing his dirty expression, Huang Yanchen felt extremely disgusted and hateful. She said, "Men are all the same. No matter how high their cultivation is, they still cannot change their nature." Standing not far away from them, Zhang Yuochen slightly frowned, when hearing Huang Yanchen's words.